One of these days we'll have it.
There you go.
Hang on. Did you do the YouTube one?
Yep, it's going.
Okay, hang on a sec. Just
turn that down.
hang on.
It's going. We're good.
We're live. We think.
Are we actually live on Beers and Bucks?
Yeah.
The 6th episode, or 7th, or 5th?
Number 6.
Is it number 6 we decided?
I think so.
This is the October lull version we decided.
I still haven't seen it pop up on my phone.
It is. It's fine.
Which, it's probably just a Tim issue.
Could be like olden days where we just ask people, hey, can you hear us?
I'm pretty pumped up.
I gotta find us here and then we'll get ready to rock.
Taylor, let's see.
Welcome.
This is our first one in the new office.
Yeah, we've got
Yeah.
I wouldn't quite call it an office. It's Jake's office, and if you've ever seen Office Space, it looks something like that.
It's a cubicle. Yep.
But hey, it's honest work.
We both sound amazing. Thanks, Kevin. Congrats on your deer, buddy. I'm excited for you.
Yeah, we've got a.
Whoa! See that? Just all kinds of.
If you've ever watched our
technical
podcast, you know the first 5 minutes is just kind of a cluster F.
Yeah.
Where we try to figure out what day of the week it is, what beer we're drinking, although now we always drink Hop and Barrel. And we let kind of people crack a beer, get settled in.
Well, and it's
home from a long day of work.
46 degrees out here in Hudson today, which means it's vest season officially, which gets me pumped.
Heck yeah.
I only have like 6 t-shirts that I rotate all summer, but you get me into fall gear, sweatshirt, vest, and then I got the Crocs on with a pair of socks because you don't want my feet to get you don't want your feet to get cold.
Oh, Crocs. Is there ever a season that's not Croc season?
Well, no, because eventually here, probably in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I rotate to my insulated Crocs.
Furry ones? Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's 24/7, 365.
I know. There isn't a food plot video on YouTube of Tim that he's not wearing the Crocs.
Yeah.
I can't wait till we kill a buck this fall and he busts out the old Crocs for tracking.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it only makes sense.
It's going to happen. My wife...
Hard with scent control, though, so you can't really sit in a tree stand with them.
Yeah. That's the tricky thing. Maybe that's why this year is my year, because I'm not going to wear them in the tree stand anymore. I'm going to go rubber boots.
Rubber boots instead of Crocs.
Rubber boots.
I'm going to start wearing Crocs.
When do you not wear a vest? That is a good point. I'm a big vest guy.
Big vest guy.
Thanks to Hop and Barrel, they hooked us up with some more beers this week, and we got Mike's favorite still, Lemon Breaker, which they're going to fizzle down on that soon. So, do you have your stockpile loaded up?
So I went to the local liquor store, and they had 24 6-packs. They now have 0. I bought all of them.
You bought 24 6-packs of Lemon Breaker.
Sure did.
That's fair.
So to answer your question, yes, I have stockpiled.
What's the shelf life?
Has that ever come into question before?
No.
If it's more than 2 months, we're safe.
That's fair.
I've got a case to bring down to Brian, because that's how you kill big bucks. You wow him.
Yep.
So I've got a case of that for him. I'll bring a case to Kansas. 4 cases to deer season. I'll be good to go.
The boys at Kentucky, we brought another Wisconsin brewery, Spotted Cow, New Glarus. You can only buy it in Wisconsin. And we brought I think a 24-pack of bottles last year, and they're all like, oh. So now they're going to get Hop and Barrel and some Spotted Cows, and you got to keep your outfitter happy, keep your guides happy. They take care of
a lot of Lemon Break will be crossing the border. Hopefully that's illegal. If not, then we didn't say it.
Yeah, it definitely didn't happen then. But exciting time. We're sitting here in the shop. We're just getting ready to go live, and Spencer's dad whacks one. His first bow buck ever. Down. And he just found it.
Buck down, red arrow. Look at that. Kip Campbell would be proud. It's a red arrow, actually.
That is
red Luminoc, red blood.
Really cool.
Nothing like shooting a deer at. You have Army time on here. That's hard.
Dude, I have one other friend that does army time, and I just
I looked and I was like, I
just don't quite trust it.
Oh, 1906. He literally texted you at 6:45 and found his deer 24 minutes later.
congrats.
Yeah, heck yeah, Nick. Way to go.
That is
fun.
That is really, really cool. And man,
First buck in the domain extended crew here this year. Jake shot a doe. Spencer shot a doe. Tim and I haven't hunted yet.
I did
Pretty par for the course.
I did hunt, but it hunted like, and that's kind of where we're at now, because right now we have a big time. We had a cold snap last weekend. We've got probably the last nice day was yesterday, where it was actually 80 degrees. Today, right now, it's 46. Last night we were sitting outside, and we were in t-shirts. So
Yeah.
I think you're starting to hit that first push, and those scrapes will start to ripen up, and the summer acorn, just everything's starting to get exciting. And now it's kind of like coming into this weekend, it's going, all right, do you push in? Do you start getting aggressive? Do you wait? When's the right time? We've got this weekend to hunt, next Saturday to hunt, and then we head to Kentucky. So I've got 3.5 sits basically, until November 5th.
And then it's Holy Month.
So
hunt for 30 straight days.
Yeah, we got kind of brutal wind.
Yeah, tough wind for the land.
Just
West.
direction-wise, west is probably, it eliminates so many stands. We set a lot of our stands for like a north or a northwest.
Maybe that's a shoots problem.
Maybe you just go in.
Or you hunt the blind.
Or hunt the blind.
I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah.
If I get a south wind at the house, I sit the blind. If I get a north wind, I hunt my stand. I don't know. So that raises my question. Spency's dad, I mean, he grunted his deer in came into a scrape, ripped it up, he grunts it right to him on a string. Do you go out this weekend and maybe like tickle the antlers together a little bit, a little grunting? I mean, Jake's gonna go out there straddling a decoy and just ripping it.
I mean,
Is that the strategy? Is it time?
I don't think there's a bad time, especially as these bucks are starting to hit that initial pre-rut. Like it's funny because the night before my wedding, we were staying down with Tom Ingerbro, and he's like one of the OGs in Buffalo County, which is like he is the OG. Yeah.
Sorry anybody else. But.
Like he's the guy knows so much about deer, and he gave us the date. He knows exactly where all of his bucks summer. He doesn't care about buck pictures in the summer, and he knows exactly when they come in. And what was the date that he gave us where they come in and hit the first scrape?
He said October 11th.
October 11th.
And then 10 days later on the 21st.
So
they'll come downwind, but not hit it again, but come downwind.
They'll hit the scrape, and then they won't ever hit that scrape again. But that tells me that they're starting to get a little ruddy, and that's where I think confrontation, to Jake's point of rattling, having that decoy out, could just close that gap a bit for you.
I agree. I mean, there's some truth to it. I mean, he said and obviously, I mean, he's done his research. But he said a mature buck, like some of those mature bucks, will daylight twice in October. It was the 11th and 21st. Granted, they're on their feet somewhere in daylight, whether it's in bedding or whatever. But when that first doe goes into heat on your property, it's going to be that same time every year. So on Tom's property, it was the 11th. On your property, maybe it's the 14th. But his theory is true. The date might just vary a little bit, but typically your doe is going to go and heat the same day every year. Their fawns are going to heat that same time, and you can start to understand your property if you've hunted it long enough.
Yep.
Based on Tom's, not theory, his facts, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's pretty neat. And we looked back at our camera last year, and remember like mature deer in the no BS on the horseshoe, the 2 dates you mentioned. Like maybe it was a coincidence, but it was still a pretty cool coincidence if that's the case.
When I don't actually have a camera in the horseshoe, and it brings me to my other point of like,
that was really good. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, I saw that Luke's point.
That was good.
I'd like him to elaborate a little bit on that.
I would too, actually.
Hunt for the bucks, good wind, not your preferred wind. I like that.
We talked about that with Mr. Big and Jake because Jake does a really good job of documenting everything. I do a terrible job, but people know that that's how I roll. He has a 3-ring binder of wind direction, daylight, all the things that Thomas Milsna would tell you to do, right? He does a really good job of that. We talked about, like, what's his wind? Does he daylight on the south or what? I don't remember if it was or if we determined it, but that kind of loops into what Luke was saying.
Yeah, it's
For
brilliant.
all you engineer-style deer hunters, I just show up and whack them.
Well, but I think, cell cameras have been really awesome. I love the lack of pressure. You don't have to go in and get chips and things like that. But they don't send them all right now. I
have the right cards in them.
I got all the right recommended cards this year. I reformatted all my cameras. I spent I got her done, and I was hunting the our popple plot up top.
You should have signal
and
up there too.
There was good signal.
That's right.
And there was doe and a fawn right in front of the picture didn't send. And I'm not saying they don't do a good job because they send it most of the time. But I had the wrong SD card. I didn't use the preferred one, which apparently makes a difference. I just wasn't smart enough to know that.
You have to have the 3.
It has to have enough speed, but I didn't hunt one of our best rut stands last year because I didn't get any buck pictures coming through, and it's like, moron. Like, what if they walked the trail, they skirted behind the camera? So this year, like, I'm a big muskie guy, and the guy who got me into it is my buddy Ryan, and he's one of the smartest dudes I know. And every time we go muskie fishing, I'm like, well, like, how are we always? He's like, just turn your brain off and just fish. Just stop overthinking
I tell Jake
everything.
that every day he goes hunting,
and
I don't mean that in a bad way.
In his defense, he's got a lot more brain power to turn down than I do.
That's not Jake's problem. No.
Like, my brain's always firing on fumes. It's kind of every once in a while it misses.
Can you actually turn it down anymore?
I should be able to tone it without going into a coma. But we know our good rut stands. We've hunted that land forever. And this year, like, yes, I'm going to utilize my cameras. Last year, we saw success in our lower field where we probably went to gone. The bucks were daylighting. Dad get in there. Boom, Dad killed it.
Night.
But I think this time of year, the deer are so unpredictable that the first time they daylight could be in front of your stand, and just hunt the stands that are good stands. I'm kind of not completely over my low impact stands because I don't want to blow all the does out just yet, especially getting out at night.
That's the struggle. Yeah.
But it's also one of those things where it's like, just go hunt, just get in there and then just figure it out later.
So for the next, what are there, 19 days left in October? That's a lot. Are we hunting food? Are we hunting scrapes? Are we hunting travel corridors, ridges? What are you hunting? I mean, I'm hunting food because that's what I have. That's where all my deer are. Spency's dad was on food, but the wood edge, but shot it basically, I'm going to say over a scrape, not really, but the deer was scraping. Jake's been hunting kind of food. You've been all over the place. What are you hunting? I mean, at some point your dad's scrape is going to be the spot.
There's a couple of spots that are really good. There's a in the wood spots that's like a really good rut kill stand, but it's good this time of year. They come circling through. But then there's always the community scrape. That would be a really good spot. And both those stands with this wind direction are really good to hunt. Some of my other stands that I would have thought to go to, the wind is somewhat sketchy. I'll run my Ozonics, and I trust in my scent control to an extent, but also let's play the wind in your favor the best you can. So I don't really know. I'd be kind of curious what you guys think. I'm
curious too.
Give us some input on, wind's not super favorable, but it's favorable for a few. I could hunt field. I could go we have 2 enclosed blinds. I could go in those. I can hunt the community scrape where we have bucks hitting it, mostly nocturnal. I could hit a travel corridor that you're catching them skirting through. It's kind of one of those things where it's tough to make up your mind, especially right now where it's like you got all these different stand locations without patternable bucks on camera.
Yeah.
And you just gotta
gotta
go with your
hunt.
gut, and you just gotta hunt.
Yeah, old school, like Fred Bear style,
Yeah, instinctual.
minus left-handed and recurve. Other than that,
Fair.
Yeah.
That guy's way tougher than both
he's
of us.
tougher. He's a one tough cookie. So Luke and I are going pheasant. It's the pheasant opener this Saturday.
Yeah.
So, like, do I overthink this and say, like, maybe it's not a good weekend to hunt deer because Luke's not hunting? And if he was hunting, that would mean it was a good weekend to hunt deer?
I'm gonna go schwack one.
Okay, fair. I mean,
Just, it's time.
any day is a good day, right? Screw deer cast, screw pressure. If you're hunting, it's a good day to hunt. You never know. I mean, remember when you were younger and you just hunted because it was Saturday?
I remember
And
we put a stand in the corner pine that's your new spot.
Yeah.
And I remember when I first started hunting, safety straps were kind of a thing. It was like
Not when I started.
I think it was a 10 foot ladder stand, and I remember the seat got uncomfortable for me, so I just went and I sat down on like the platform with my feet like on the ladder, and this giant walks in front of me. I didn't have a bow yet. I think I was 10. And my dad was like 50 yards down hunting, and I thought that buck was walking right to him. But
He winded ya?
I'm like sitting there just like doing God knows what, not getting busted. I think you just overthink things
My
too much
first
now.
bow hunt, I sat in the crotch of a tree. My feet were on the other limb. Didn't even have a stand.
Safety.
I was probably 9 feet up
I'm
in
going to
the
tell
air.
Sue.
I know, right? I mean, thankfully the safety has advanced a long time in the last 25 years. So, didn't help me a couple of years ago, but that's all right. I'm an acrobat too, so should we do a quick roll call?
Yeah, roll call, but I was thinking just like reading through some of these comments, there's a lot of good
Are there
stuff.
some good ones? Good, because I can't read them. Let's see here. Is there some good stuff? Drinking Michelob.
Even today would have been a killer. Camera deer all day. But that brings me to a point of, so I've got a doe on the property right now with a fawn. And this thing is blowing up my cameras. I always get these like, I sent Mike and my dad a picture. I don't know, it's probably 2 weeks ago. I'm like, oh great, they're flying now, because this fawn was like in front of the camera. I saw her on the hoof 2 weekends ago when I was hunting, and the mom comes in and she's got her fawn, and all of a sudden the fawn starts getting like the crazy legs and then just takes off and does literally like 100
Crazy leg dance again?
but she does like 100-yard loop and then comes back in, and the mom's super skittish, and any other deer in the field are all skittish because why is this fawn freaking out? And I'm like, listen here, you better cut that out. Well, I've been getting pictures down in the lower field. She's flying through there. I'm pretty sure
Literally flying.
I'm pretty sure this fawn is actually flying, but I'm like, that thing is boogering up the fields because all the deer are nervous now because this thing's just like out of nowhere just takes off running and does a hot lap.
Maybe you need to work on your doe control with some doe patrol.
That would be a fawn control. But the mom is a big old nag doe. Not as much of a nag as Floppy Ear was. She's not stomping. She hasn't done anything to piss me off. She's never once busted me. She's never once blown at me, and I have a tough time taking her out. But if I
Tearing up here?
if I take her out, does the fawn F off and maybe go to
Are
Jay?
you gonna cry right now?
Maybe
Talking about shooting a doe?
I want the fawn to maybe go over to Jay Lagerstrom's,
Oh, there you go.
go
Yeah,
booger him
go-
over there.
Go rip around over
Go
there
on,
for
get.
a few weeks.
Get, he's got the dandelions planted
Planted
over
the
there.
dang dandelions and the deer eating
So
them. That
go
didn't
go
work.
on.
Yeah.
So
What else
but,
can we do?
Like we have a buddy down in Kentucky, and he took out the monarch. That's just a bully
The matriarch.
matriarch. Yeah, I fucked that
Monarch
up.
is a show on ABC.
Sorry for the F-bomb. Kid show.
Yeah.
Boom. It was one day later,
Yeah, it was crazy.
deer were hitting the food plot. So
Yeah.
it's one of those things where I'm jaded because for so long on our land we had such a low deer population that when they had T-zone, they had earn a buck where you had to shoot a doe before you could fill a buck tag.
For sure.
And you'd hunt an entire bow season and not see a doe.
Oh, yeah.
But then you'd go 2 properties down and there's 100 does out in the field, and now we've got literally, I think we have a doe problem.
100%.
It comes time to thin the herd.
Talk to Jeff Miller, your neighbor. He kills like as many as he can every year, and it's never enough.
Yeah.
So, I mean, look at, you get that ratio squared away, that's when you actually have a rut. If you don't have a rut, there's a reason. It's because the deer don't have to do anything.
I think it's time, and for me, it's just a mental block thing because,
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you got to cross that chasm. Like we've done so much habitat improvement that now we are housing more deer.
Absolutely.
To the point where now I've got this crazy flying fawn around, and it's like, go on, get out of
They're
here.
inbred now, so now they're developing strange.
I know, but I'm
features
just like,
and
why
habits
why doesn't that fawn go do it on Jays?
I mean, maybe she will soon.
I don't know if Jay's watching right now, but Jay,
He knows better. Why would he be watching us?
good point.
Yeah.
Bring that sucker over there. I think he'd be doing it. We give a lot of hot tips.
Yeah, he doesn't send us anything. We get nothing from him.
I know Mike sends us stuff.
They just kill all the deer. We have flying does.
If I run into a situation this weekend where I see one of them old nags, one might.
You gonna smoke one?
Yeah, well, Mel keeps yelling at me to bring some venison home, so probably just take the plunge and get that done.
I hope you do shoot a doe. I think that'd be good for you. For a lot of reasons.
Will you come track it with
I
me?
would. I'll bring Veda.
Okay.
Me and V will come track it and gut it and probably drag it for you and skin it for you and cut it up for you.
I do think though, it's kind of like when you've got that broken up buck that like the genetics aren't great and they're broken up all the time and they're just like that bully.
The cull buck.
Cull buck, get them out. You know,
If she blows, she gotta go.
that's what I'm saying. That's my new.
Make killing does great again.
It's my new philosophy.
that
But
from
we
Kim.
had old Floppy Ear on the property for years that I wanted to kill. You'd hang a new stand, get in there undetected. The wind was perfect, and she'd be like 80 yards away, just stomping and whistling her ass off at you.
I disagree.
What?
I saw her 3 times hunting, and every time she had a buck in pursuit. She was good to me.
She was never good to me.
Right here,
Yeah, I wanted to schwack her.
she was great.
And Mike's
She got
like, "Oh, she produces 3 buck fawns every year. Don't kill her." I
Oh, I said 2.
should have killed her.
She had triplets every year and 2 of her buck fawns. You can't shoot her.
Ever since Floppy Ear has shown up, I haven't killed a buck. And now we haven't seen Floppy Ear in 3 years, and I still haven't shot a buck. There is a correlation.
Have you ever watched Escanaba in the Moonlight?
Yeah. Floppy Ear she probably just, and then she produced the flying fawn.
Should we?
She's done with bucks, now she's producing offspring that fly.
Maybe we're gonna have to head down to the cabin this weekend and start a bonfire, and you can drink doe piss and do the dance and all the things that they do in Escanaba in the Moonlight.
Get up on the roof. That movie is like my buddy Kurt always the
good.
Thursday before Wisconsin gun opener, he has everyone over to watch it, and everyone is like intent for the first half, and then like aliens show. I've never actually seen the second half of the movie,
Show is, it gets more bizarre as it goes.
but the first half is awesome.
Yeah, it's a classic. We watch it at deer camp every year too.
Yeah,
But I'm just, maybe it'll get you off the schneid. Maybe you kill the old flying fawn. I don't know.
what if I shoot her while she's flying?
That's worth something there, Timmy.
I'm gonna think long and hard. I got a couple of days, then I'll hit the woods.
Yeah, you see your ma saw her today too.
What?
Yep.
I just saw her today by your gate. Pops. No, Dad's chiming in. Thanks, Dad.
Oh, I love how your dad signs his messages. Pops. That's awesome.
Well, I messaged and he goes, all he said last night when I was like, this thing's boogering everything up, he goes, you know what you need to do. That is good fatherly advice.
Like when I asked him if I could marry his daughter, he goes, good luck, and said nothing else.
Casey said, are you sure you want her? And then said a cat on my shoulder. True story. And then he told me that she's got an 18-month return policy.
I can't. How do you even? Wow. Whew. Glad they tuned into Beers and Bucks tonight, huh? Like this is the further. I don't even know what rabbit hole we're down right now. We're talking about the October lull, now talking about cats.
All right, now we got to bring it back.
Whew. Where?
Now,
where do we begin?
I will say, after being out of stock for a long time, the green killing hat is on
Go grab one of them.
a hot streak, and we still have some in stock.
Honest, yeah.
I have one that's ready to rock. I haven't wore it yet. It's going on this weekend. The green, every single buck picture for the most part that we've gotten so far of harvest photos, the person who's wearing the green killing hat, there she is.
Yeah, 99% of them. We haven't had this for 12 months, like you said.
The green killing hat, for whatever reason, until another hat steps up,
That's the one.
this is the hat.
Jake's going to be wearing it this year. Tim's going to be wearing it. Spencer's dad was wearing it tonight.
He was. Another one bites. The green killing hat has some kind of a special aura. Yeah, put that there.
Honestly, we don't. What do we have? A couple dozen of them? And there's no 18-month return policy on that thing. If you don't kill one with that, you just suck. Maybe just send it.
I'm rocking it, and we've got the green killing beanie.
Which, I mean, it hasn't been cold yet, but once it gets cold,
There's going to be some
there'll be
good
some good kill shots in that.
green killing beanie photos.
We got the orange hat too. I'll be wearing this opening date.
Chris Newton's buying them.
You know who killed one? The first person to kill a deer.
Tim Strand.
Tim Strand.
My good buddy.
Yeah.
Comes hunting with us, goes out, slams one.
Smokes one.
He was super pumped.
That was
And
fun.
I had
drags suck.
I had COVID at the time, and I'm like, well, maybe just drive it over. They didn't come and see me.
We didn't. This year, maybe. Timmy said COVID the last 2 deer seasons. Pretty sure.
No, just
Leading
last
up
year.
to one. I don't know.
I'm good now because I got
We've had
it.
it every time we try to get together.
I got it 3 weekends ago, so now I should
You've
be
had it like
clear
19 times.
twice, 2 times.
Tim set the world record in having COVID.
No, only twice.
Guinness called it.
Somebody asked about
The
the camel hat.
camel killing hat's a pretty good one
I
too.
killed a buck with it last year.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to kill another 3 this year with it.
it's go time.
You know, I got 3 tags.
Yeah.
Might as well fill them all. As
So-
they say.
You guys were just down.
Oh, yeah.
So we partnered this year with Homegrown Outfitters. They're out of Buffalo County. They've got. If you watched any of the videos earlier this season, we did a shed hunt down there.
It was 100 below zero.
Yeah, it was really cold. We did some frost eating content with them guys. They supported us from day one. You know, we were putting it in bags for them as we were just getting launched. So, you know, it's super appreciated. But now they're going full tilt, and they've got. So Homegrown Outfitters, and then they have Love the Grind TV, which is now on the Sportsman's channel. But they also have YouTube, and they just launched a YouTube video talking about one of their plot designs. So if you go to Love the Grind and you go to like their most recent video, I think it was only like 17 minutes long, but the thought that they put into food plot architecture, which we've been doing now for a couple of years in our lower field. We've killed 2 bucks because of manipulating deer movement within the food plot that you're hunting.
Yep.
I know Spencer did that in his lower field or his field this year, and man, it is just super cool. But the guys all went down last Thursday, and we did some content, and man, I saw some softball sized turnips.
Yeah, I think the most impressive thing, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, but their architecture, design, strategy is first class, second to none, incredible. The neat thing about it is, I've been doing this a long time, and so often when you watch TV and you watch stuff, guys are talking about how they're hunting over beans and corn and whatever. They have 22 farms in Buffalo County, and when they have customers come in, they come in with one thought: I'm going to kill the biggest buck on the farm. And how do they set up the farm so they kill the biggest deer? They use the brassicas, the big sexy sugar mama, etc., to create these hunting advantages. It's incredible. They use the topography of the ground. They use the land the way it was designed, but then they, like you said, they manipulate deer and and use those brassicas to kill deer. Last weekend they had their youth hunt. Both deer were killed over, Big Sexy, and it was really, really neat because when you're in it, like all you do is think about it, right? But you can kind of get jaded because it's all you think about.
Yep.
So it's really fun to kind of go to a world-class operation where their job as an outfitter, God bless them because I couldn't be one, is to make it happen for everybody all the time. That's their job. And I mean, it was such a fun day to just see how and we kept talking about like creating hunting advantages is the way they use it. Yeah, it's to eat. Yeah, it's for food. Yeah. But the designs just pinch deer naturally, but also like they use corn differently. They don't use corn for deer to eat. They use corn to make sure deer aren't in that spot.
Yep.
Force them into spots where they can hunt. And all their stands, they could have that one farm was 100 acres, and it was a valley the whole length of it. You buy that thing and go, how do I hunt this? What do? They put up all this corn to block it. They've got these brassica runways, and if you come in, no matter what direction a deer enters the valley, they're going to walk past a hunter. They're forced to. And it was really cool just to see like the strategy and the design and everything that goes into it. And then, I mean, the plots were incredible.
I mean, Buffalo County has some of the most fertile.
Absolutely.
Yep. So a lot of guys go, well, why don't my plots look like that? Well, your pH is probably really low and it's sandy, or you didn't get rain. They were blessed with good rain.
Absolutely.
Down there, but it's some of the most fertile soil in Wisconsin, and that county as a whole for they basically brought quality deer management to Wisconsin, and that helps when everyone doesn't shoot 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, and you let deer get to 4, 5 years old. Sure, all of that helps, but also the nutrients that are coming out of that, like the corn is 3 feet taller than our corn in Dunn County. We're just north. Yep. So you get all that extra nutrients which the deer are absorbing. Then you add food plots and you add all the strategy and everything, and that's why Buffalo County is one of the best counties in the United States to kill a really high quality whitetail. But it also has to do a lot with the deer management that's been happening in that county. But there's other counties too that are around there that are kind of like the sleeper counties, and you get down into Iowa, and Iowa is a whole nother specimen too. There are just giants everywhere, but I think the point is just using what you can to manipulate the deer to get where you want. And the content, even if you have a smaller property like what we have, where we have 1 2-acre field that we're doing, we still use that 2-acre field to try and manipulate deer to be in front of the blind, and we've seen really good success with it. So I would check out their content. It's really solid.
There was some other super interesting parts too, because again, we focus so heavily on brassicas right now. Everybody talks about Big Sexy and Showstopper and Bombshell and Smackdown and Green Machine. 2 of the best plots that we visited were Comeback Kid and Hot Chick plots that were tucked on like a hidden corner, or the one was the only food plot on the property, and as a result they're like, what can we plant to feed all the deer? And it was like this just thermal covered pine forest opens up to this half-acre Hot Chick and Comeback Kid plot, which is super cool. And then they had this other staging plot that every single deer that entered the big Ag and Big Sexy would stage through this Comeback Kid and Hot Chicks. I thought we talked about it on the video, but really neat kind of way to use perennials. Look at Jake's property and mine. That's the foundation of it. We have so many deer. It stays green. They're always in it. We overlook it. Everybody overlooks hunting over perennials. Yeah. You don't have enough on your property.
No. But even to that point too, if you do have a big ag field, like Jake hunts near a big ag field that's beans, and they're all gone. They came in and took them off. Yep. So that's when all of a sudden those deer will start gravitating towards some of your smaller micro plots. So it's and I think Luke made a comment on that. Like, not everyone has control over all of that, that ag to be able to do that. Like, they're blessed.
He should be able to control his property.
But
though.
you should
you
should be able to look at some of those micro plots when the crops do come off to go, how do we draw them in, and how do you structure plots where maybe you didn't think you could have a plot. And I think that they're homegrown and Love the Grind has really pioneered on a big scale how you can do it. And I feel a lot of our YouTube videos over the last few years have been about how do you take a smaller property
for sure
and put a food highway in and put a secluded plot in and maybe take a couple of trees out and create that food source. So I think it may open up your mind on a big scale, but then always come back to, okay, well, how could I take some of those strategies at a smaller scale and adopt them on my property? And I mean, when Mike and I first met, I mean, we were raking in the woods, we were cutting down little pockets of trees, just trying to figure out, then you're not even talking 1/10 of an acre food plot. We just wanted something that could create somewhat of a social area that these deer would come into and give you that shot opportunity, and it's just continued to blossom from there.
Heck yeah. No, and we shot a segment that it'll be on YouTube here in the next week or so, but we focused on some of those micro plots, smaller properties, because I mean, that's kind of who we all are, right?
Yep.
And some of the unique ways that they would use, like running or, farms that are in operation right now, and how they would, take a 1/4 acre, a 1/2 acre, those like hidden corners. And we're trying to get Jake to convince his landowner to try to give us a 1/4 acre, like we'll pay for it. And maybe they won't eat so many of your beans if they're eating the big sexy, and secretly strategize on, when these beans are gone, now I at least have something.
Yeah.
My whole food source isn't gone. And we talked about that quite a bit, because to your point, so often you just see the farms that they completely can do everything to, but many of us have 4 acres or 100 or 120, and 20's an ag, and so you have to kind of be creative and find ways to.
That's a really good point, though, of like positioning it if you get permission. And I just watched one of the new. I love the Seek One videos. The urban hunters.
Good boys.
Those guys kill slammers.
They do some giant.
He just bought a new like weird like hatchback Honda. I forget what model it was. He's like, I just want to be in, like, I don't want people to know that I'm hunting in here, because he's literally in like urban Nashville and Atlanta, and like he's in some rough areas, but like he backs his vehicle up, doesn't drag the deer up, doesn't gut the deer on the property. He's like, I don't want to create any nuisance there. But if you are in a situation where you have permission from a landowner, how do you position putting a food plot in to diminish the pressure, especially if they're a farmer, to diminish some of that pressure that's hammering their crops, which is going to hurt their yield.
Yeah.
And it might not make a huge impact on, they're still going to go to the big field at night, but could it help?
A lot of times,
I think so.
When you look at an ag field, the corners are the spots that suck anyways. Like the bean yield is low, or maybe it's deer pressure, but it also just feels like there's probably some set aside areas where you might be able to carve out some ground.
That inside corner where the deer that's where they come out,
exactly.
And they graze there first, and then they disperse out. Well, maybe don't plant that. I'll pay you for that little piece. And
it allows you to, otherwise your success kind of is reliant on, well, I can hunt early season until the beans are green. Once they turn brown, then I gotta wait. Well, then he harvests them, and now what do I do? And I think we're experiencing that to some degree with some guys that rent properties and whatnot, where you're kind of at the farmer's say. I mean, if he says yes, and so this way, you get your big sexy, you hunt over it all the time, really. I mean, we talked about that at Homegrown. It was amazing walking through those plots where we shot some funny videos, but every plant was grazed, and a bunch of the turnips have been eaten.
already.
No frost. Like, I think sometimes brassicas, not our mixes, but they get a bad rap that I can't hunt them until it's cold. False.
100%.
The way we've designed all these is that if it's August, September, October, November, December, there's going to be deer in there feeding. And those plots,
There's still, in the picture behind us, there's still, you can't quite see up top, but there's green on the corn still.
beans,
Or that's beans? Yeah, soybeans.
yeah.
They haven't fully browned yet. Well, beans brown typically before the corn does. It's going ham on that thing.
Just smoking a radish down. But that plot, Jake shot a funny video because it was just like,
Did he clam up a little bit?
oh, he did. We're getting there. We're working on it. Jake's got stage fright, and if
Not when he does his Facebook story. So
hey guys, I'm up in the tree here, and
it sounds a little
Those are
like
fine.
it's like, almost like Batman. It's like, hey,
So if anybody has any advice, we're working hard to get Jake in front of the camera more and Spencer because Tim and I want to be in front of the camera less.
but Riley's intense with the
He's
camera.
intense. He's in
Come on! Come on! It's like, take it easy with that thing, man. The drone's right there. You're like, it's like, calm down,
So
pal.
if anybody has any advice on how to get these guys over stage fright, they know more about the products than anybody else, so it can't be a confidence thing. We've tried this. That works to some degree, and then Jake gets,
A little squirrely.
yeah. So then that doesn't work anymore. But we'll take any advice at this point. So we're going to get them there. We're just not sure how yet.
Yeah.
So we had them shoot a ton of videos. They'll get there.
I think we need to. So we've got
Whiskey helps, they said.
we've got
There you go.
our big Kentucky hunt. This is our
yeah.
second time going to Whitetail Crossings.
This is gonna be fun.
We loved it last year.
We got a new trailer to haul.
We've got a new domain trailer, Suckers Mint.
Free hat for anybody that sees the trailer, takes a picture of the trailer, and sends us a picture of the trailer.
Yeah.
Boom. And
It'll be on the road.
it can't be behind the warehouse.
Or, just,
We're gonna send the boys on the road a little bit, so you're probably gonna see us at a few more shows this year too.
I think I think I'm going to kill the biggest buck, but
Oh, Harley, you don't count, dude. You guys can't come behind the warehouse and take a picture of it. That
yeah,
does
none
not
of
count.
that. But we've got Mike and Jake and myself and my dad and then Marcus, who
Yep.
he helps us out a lot online. And Marcus bought some new squirrely broadheads.
Let's talk about that for a second.
If it was made of feathers and some guy was like, it's guaranteed he'd buy it if it was $1,000. Marcus, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Your buck went 50 yards with the original OG Slick Trick. I'm not letting you I love those broadheads. Look nice.
You bought some Iron Wills, which are fantastic.
They're awesome.
They're incredible. But if it ain't broke,
Don't fix
don't
it.
fix it, bro.
He's the guy that I
not
got
your-
introduced. I introduced him to muskie fishing, which I was really proud of. First time he ever came out with me, he caught a muskie. And then
Well, I can say.
next thing you know, he's got an arsenal of the weirdest muskie baits because he gets down the rabbit hole and it's like, what is that thing? It's like, it's like a duck loon hybrid and it dives, but then it comes back up 5 feet. And I'm like, take that off. Just put on a bucktail. Like,
Jake's shooting some goofy ass.
it's like, just
deal too,
fine.
so.
Just hammer a Slick Trick, dude. You know, what is this, amateur hour?
Now he's bragging about his shot through the dang shoulder again too.
Yeah.
Spent 10 months telling Drake to shoot at the freaking
Hammers a doe through the
hammers a
shoulder.
doe through the shoulder with this weird broadhead. And
I mean,
in
you
the
did
video,
tethering it. You did,
100% killed it
that
in the heart.
thing's done.
100%.
I love you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But don't do that on a buck in Kentucky.
Correct.
I don't want to deal with the heartache again.
And his cameraman Spencer over his shoulder goes, just shoot it right through the shoulder. I was like, oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that.
yeah. I
Cripes.
spent 11 months working on Jake and trying to get him to move just a little bit back.
Yep.
Lungs.
Cripes almighty.
Just shoot
Oh, there's Marcus. Went from speed to penetration real quick. Yeah, you weirdo. Oh, my God.
Isn't that all of us though? we rip on Jake and Spencer. I told them if we don't rip on you, be more nervous than if we do. But isn't that all of us?
Yeah.
Right. We're always trying to find an edge. We're trying to find the newest, latest, greatest, all the things. So we like to rip on our buddies, but we're no different.
No.
I mean, I don't buy anything new, but
I overthink and overanalyze
We all do.
everything.
We all do, right?
I have like a good game plan when I go to bed, and then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, wait a second. And then I'm like staring at my map. I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then I text Mike. He's like, dude, just go with your game plan. I'm like, yeah.
I am pretty much this guy here. I talk Jake off a ledge daily. Just like, dude, should I hunt? I don't know if I just go freaking hunt. Like,
That's what it goes down to.
hunt.
Turn your brain off and
if
just
you see the big buck, shoot the big buck.
yeah.
So, and Luke brings up a great point. So
you.
Luke and I hunt a lot of big game together. Next year we're hunting the biggest game we've ever hunted. It's gonna be a fun trip.
Where are you going?
We're going to Alaska
Little did I know.
on
Thanks
an
for.
archery caribou hunt.
It's like I didn't even know you had a lead. I want to go on a caribou hunt.
You want to go?
Yeah.
Probably got room for one more guy.
Well, it depends on when, because I think Dad and I are going to draw in Muscle Shell.
Here you go. See?
But it would
as
be
I
at
was
least nice to like
saying-
be part of the plan.
Well, you can be part of the plan potentially. It depends on your hunt. But
fine.
Luke had
I didn't even
iron
wanna
wills when we were in Idaho.
Jake Spencer and I go.
When he called in an elk, and I killed it. So maybe it's a good thing that Marcus is bringing iron wills. You know, good juju. Yeah, we'll just sit next to Marcus.
I'm going to change topics just because I'm thoroughly disappointed in Mike right now. Craig
because
asked
I have
about-
never got an invite to Montana to hunt elk.
Yes, you have.
Am I coming to Muscle Shoals or whatever the hell it's called?
No, it's for Dad and I. It was special.
I digress.
Craig asked about scent control and how extensive. Like, I do take it into account. I got the Ozonics rocking. I hang my clothes. Scent Crush. But I love Nose Jammer.
I like the smell of it. That's part of my problem.
Well, and
Yeah.
I've had times where, especially like I've had one of those like nag does downwind, and they smell it, but they don't bust you per se. And
Yep.
you
Me too.
but I think especially in my situation, there's only so many good rut stands where you kind of just got to push in, and I've been busted. I had 2 years ago, our number one hit lister came in a spot that he wasn't supposed to come downwind, and he busted me. And I take as many precautions as the next guy, but I take it as serious as I can. I try and hunt the sands where the wind's blowing, but especially during the rut, you don't know. But this time of year, you can kind of gauge still where you think they're going to come, and just play your best bet. Like we started hunting more in enclosed blinds, and scent control really doesn't seem to matter much.
I think wind is king.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part, like when you elk hunt, that's all you think about, because that's like the number one thing. And just kind of, for me, it just kind of bleeds into 10 years ago. I didn't think about it at all. Got lucky a few times, killed some deer, but I blew out a ton of deer.
Yeah.
I just think, obviously, peak rut, those deer don't have a clue to some degree. But if you can play the wind, if you can control your scent to the best of your ability, I prefer what Luke said, or what we talked about earlier, like play the wind more than like bathe in whatever the hell, right? Generally, you're going to know which way a deer's coming from. And if not, then bummer.
Yeah,
But
like nose jammer to me
I don't
is
know.
more of like if you get a wind swirl or something.
There's some guys that don't like it here,
yeah,
Timmy.
no, I'm seeing
We
that.
got 4 guys that don't like it. I'd like to hear why. I'm always curious.
Like I've had pretty good luck with the Ozonics. I always borrowed Dad's, and
Oh, yeah, milkweed.
Jake and I have one now, but
Jake's got 2.
I didn't know you already had one. You freaking slime ball. You fucking
Jake's
muscled me
got
out of
2.
one.
Tim's got 2. I don't have any.
I have
None.
but no, I think that's Kay Miller's joining. Hey, happy anniversary, Kay.
K's on? Hey.
Kay and Casey.
How many years is that?
I think it's at 37
That's
years.
what I thought I saw. Impressive.
And Casey had a hell of a mustache when they got married, and then
Saw that, too.
Mel posted a similar picture of us, and I didn't have a mustache.
He also had hair.
He did. He had great. He still has great hair.
Yeah, you don't have that either.
Father-in-law always holds that over my head. Got a mustache
Literally.
and hair. Oh,
We still don't know why people don't like Nose Jammer, but that's okay.
well, let's talk a
think
little
it's
bit
because
about.
it has a scent.
We still have a bit of a group here. If you're local or around the Hudson area, we have 3 job openings right now
We do.
that we're eager to get someone that wants to come in and work hard and wear a lot of hats and help us grow. But
and grow with us.
and grow with us. As it grows, more expansion will happen. But we have an office manager position that requires you to be in Hudson at the warehouse, and then we have 2 production assistant positions. So if you know anybody, they have to come here.
They're all on site.
They have to be on site, but production assistant, you're going to wear a lot of hats, and you're going to just help out, and no 2 days will be the same. It gets a little crazy in here. The office manager, we want to continue to get orders out fast, and a lot of guys compliment the fact that they place the order and it's at their door quick, and we want to maintain that. So office manager, 2 production assistants have to be around the Hudson area. So if you want to inquire or find out more information, it's info@domainoutdoor.com. Send us an email. We'll get in touch with you and send you more information. But we're looking for 3 more awesome team members to join us. The affiliate program wrapped up. We'll be starting to launch that soon. But
to add to that, if you apply to the affiliate program, it's going to take us some time. There was about 200 applicants. Our goal was to have 50 affiliates. So I don't know where that number is going to land. But we're gonna work through all of them, and nothing personal. It's geography based, just to make sure we try to cover as much of the U.S. as we can, and make sure there's great people on there. So we're gonna work through those. So over the next 3 months, we'll be working through the affiliate program. Riley will be reaching out to you. So I apologize for any delays. We just have a ton of applicants to work through, and we need to make sure that we've got all of our bases covered, and we have the ability to support as many affiliates as we can too. So
when retail expansion is going to be
Yeah.
happening next year, you're going to find us in almost 2 times as many stores. So
next year's gonna be a lot of fun.
it's going to be super cool, and we're kind of getting towards the end. It's just, again, just thanks everybody for tuning in on this and for supporting us. And it's been a really wild ride, and it's been fun to just expand the food pot market. It's still amazing how many first-time food potters are reaching out to us, and you all, the community, is helping this industry grow, and people find more success where maybe they didn't think they could find success. So it means a lot to us to kind of make an impact on that, and it's just really cool to be a part of it, even if it's a small part of it.
That's what we're good at. We're good at helping. We're good at seeing opportunity where there isn't.
Drinking beer.
We're good at drinking beer. But those are, I think, love homegrown, love their properties. The most fun we have is the person that comes to us with nothing, and 5 months later we get the pictures of the most amazing transformation ever. And we like to share Jake's property a lot, and mine, and just some of these really small ones that really, when you, from start to finish, it's pretty awesome what your hard work can accomplish. Our job is to give you the tools, or the knowledge, or the information, or the confidence, whatever it might be. And those are the fun. This is the fun part now, because we've talked to thousands and thousands of people in the last months, and half of them came to us with nothing. And I don't mean that. I just, like, they had nothing on their property. They didn't know what to do, and we just kind of gave them the confidence, the
can do this.
assistance, the product, a little nudge, and the trust that, you know what, win, lose, or draw, we're going to help you out the whole way. And now it's like, just shot this giant buck on my property. I've never seen a deer here. And it's like, that's when things, that's kind of like the aha moment. You get goosebumps thinking about it.
It's kind of that, like, the slower time where we're kind of in transition of ramping up production for next year, but it's not as like crazy as it was in July. And this is a time where you can kind of not sit back, but like all of a sudden the pictures start coming in. So
Yeah.
like literally the next month and a half is like the favorite time of the year because you get so many harvest
If you don't like dead deer on Facebook, don't follow us.
Yeah.
Because
there's going to be a lot of them.
the next 3 months will be, none of them will be ours, but we'll share everybody else's,
Well,
which is fine.
Hopefully, if you followed us last year, we went live on Marcus's track job.
Yeah.
We'll go live on we probably won't do another Beers and Bucks until kind of beginning of November, just with schedules. But watch for some Facebook lives when we're in Kentucky because
We'll do it for every track job.
we're gonna drop the hammer.
But that'll be the next time we're live, probably.
Yep.
So be a fun hunt. Hopefully, keep sharing your success with us. Keep sharing your pictures with us. That's the best part.
Yeah.
We'll share them all, and it helps other people kind of get a vision of what's possible.
Yep.
So I think that's it for our 6th, 7th, 8th, 10th,
15th,
whatever. It is. We appreciate you watching. We're not sure why you do, but we thank you for it.
Thanks again to Hop and Barrel for
Absolutely.
supplying us our beers for this
Can you
evening.
buy beer online?
Not from Hop and Barrel.
I've got a lot of people that want to get Hop and Barrel. We talk about it so much, but I guess we're going to have to come to Hudson to get it.
Maybe we talked to Hop and Barrel about how they can expand their,
Let's ship this stuff.
their footprint.
This is the best beer that was ever made.
Wisconsin's the best beer.
Oh, fair.
My opinion.
We drank all the Minnesotan,
I love
so we were
Coors
supposed to
Light.
talk about that tonight, but we drank it all, and now
Got
we don't
into
have
them.
any. So,
You wonder how we get loose before we get the podcast going. We just hammer a couple of
Well,
scones. Cheers.
Anyways,
Well, thank you all.
thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all.